Name a team.
Nebraska's never even won a March Madness game. When they make it out of the round of 64, I will be the most obnoxious version of me you've ever witnessed. Meanwhile, like the Cleveland Browns are actively like going fan to fan, punching them in the nuts and being like, "You're still willing to be a fan, though, right?"
Disagreeing with a stat of the day. Can you do this? Gentlemen, let's go, boys.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Go. How we doing? Welcome,
Good.
boys.
How are you?
Lackluster intro there, guys. But hey, here we go. You know, welcome to the Juice Boys Show. You know, that's who it happens. We're three brothers-in-law. We are so stupid. Start a weekly sports podcast. You can't stop us. The only sports podcast in the world.
Okay.
In the entire world, run by three brothers-in-law. Okay. The 127th sports ranked podcast in Ghana. You can't
It's got to
stop
be
this.
up by now.
Like
It's
2
gotta-
months ago now.
Yeah,
It's got
this
to be
is
up by now.
We don't know where we are now, but hopefully top 125.
You can't stop this freight train of a podcast. Sports podcast for the sports moron, bound by the 3Bs, boost, betting, bullshit, whatever you're listening, however you're listening. Thank you so much, guys. Juice Junkie community. Shows drop every Friday, maybe a little bit earlier this week. We'll see. Be sure to follow on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, all the funnest pieces of sports content. I've missed you both. Final Four is locked in. Opening
Yes, it
day.
is.
Kentucky Derby's coming
boys.
up. What else? Masters is coming up. Spring is here. The sun is still kind of out as we record. I'm the third turd,
It's
Cody.
annoyingly cold.
You wouldn't know that. You're in a basement.
That's true. Third turd, Cody. Juice Boy, Joe. Mr. Chris.
Sir.
The Professor. I'm really messing this up. It's multiple weeks now.
right there.
Pelletier. Yeah. Guys, what are we
Strong
drinking?
reader.
Episode 86. Gonna be a hot one. Christopher, take it away.
Joe.
Topo? Are you clean?
Nothing exciting. Nothing worth.
Should we just cut this
Giving a
segment
shit
at this
about.
point? Damn it.
Probably.
No, oh, you're just not even going to share.
Oh, do you really care what kind of
Yes, I need to
sparkling
know.
water
Yes,
it's a
I do.
green one this time.
It's a green one. Okay. Thanks
Yeah.
for sharing. Is that wine, JoJo?
I felt bad for ripping on you for those couple times. And recently, Uncle Doe's had a little bout of hypertension. All right. And so I've heard that.
Okay.
I was watching The Godfather, and he said, drink some wine. It's good for you, Pop. So I'm going with that. Wine is good for your heart. And so I got that, but because I'm a man, I also have a beer chaser. So
Okay.
I've got Dos Equis this week.
Just be careful chasing your grandson through the tomato patch. Okay.
And just,
Whatever
Does-
you do.
Does beer wash down wine well?
That can't go well.
It can't. There's no.
just
Like
be a
beer and
battle.
whiskey, I see it, yeah, but beer and wine, like, no thanks.
Okay. Guys,
There we go. Little Cabernet Sauvignon.
what are the notes? What are the
A
notes?
little
Give me a nice.
class.
Send it up.
Yeah.
What do you got? Give me some notes. What's the vintage?
Grapes.
Boda. It's
Oh,
Boda
box. Cardboard.
Yeah, there we
Cardboard.
go.
Oh, okay.
Oh, this isn't even from like the winery just down the road.
Oh,
from
it's
you?
just cardboard.
Oh no.
I don't know if that's actually good for your heart, Joseph. If I'm gonna be honest
I
with you.
feel like Boda Box wasn't what he was talking about in The Godfather.
I wouldn't.
Probably not.
I think I'm with
Probably
you.
not.
I think I'm
But,
with
no.
you. Guys, we're wrapping up with a little Rieger whiskey, not the bourbon this time.
Attaboy.
Good old Kansas City. I'm the badass this week, not you guys.
Okay.
We rotate. Yeah.
Rotate.
Congrats.
Guys, before we get into the sports talk of March Madness, we found a lovely stat we need to hit on. This feels like our segment. Remember a while ago I think it was like 90% of males think they could land a plane in an emergency situation, which I think us three all think, given the right
Yeah,
instructions.
I'm pretty sure.
We could do it.
I mean, they pretty much fly
If
themselves.
I screw it up, I'm not going to know the difference, so I may as well go in confident.
Yeah. So the newest
for
one
water.
going around, 6% of males believe they were surveyed, they could believe they could beat up a bear in hand-to-hand combat.
So
Thoughts?
without a weapon.
Without any weapon.
Hand to hand, just
straight
any
up.
old bear.
What do we think? Are you in? Is Joey one of the
Okay,
six?
Like, there's a lot of different.
Any
like-
bear? There's a lot of
because
different
like
bears.
I could probably like grab a koala by the foot and like smash it against something.
I mean, even though pandas, they're huge, but they're docile as hell. I mean, I think I could probably take.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's a grizzly bear is the exact bear.
Oh, that's it. That's extremely.
That's a big
context
difference
here.
Yeah, that's a big difference. I mean, it's just like this-
6%.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different kinds of bear.
6% of males believe they could take on a grizzly bear in hand-to-hand combat. Are we in this 6%?
Exactly 0 of those dudes have ever seen like a wild bear, let alone a goddamn grizzly bear. Are
Grizzly
you kidding
bear.
me? They stand at like 12 foot tall.
Huge. Yeah, and they could run like as fast as like a highway speed car. All right, and they could climb trees. I mean, I've seen The Revenant. Even though that was fake, there is no way in hell like that you could ever be able to do that.
Like even when you start losing, you'll run, and that bear will catch you within 20 yards. You're dead.
Yeah. They can climb trees as fast as they can run. So you can't even,
wait,
like,
none of
take
us
to the
are.
sky.
None of us think we could do it.
The only one here that would have been a maybe they'll take a shake at it would have been Joey, and even Joey's like, absolutely not.
I don't know. I might just go that ape shit, and just go for eyeballs.
No, zero chance.
Here's how I always think of it: you get one shot with these. You got to get him in the eye.
That doesn't
You
do
have
anything.
to.
It has another eye and now is pissed.
You don't kick him in the balls.
No,
You get a male grizzly bear.
I that's just going to infuriate it.
Can
I
you
think
kick
that
him?
yeah.
Can you kick
I
him?
don't see any version of you get one shot and that one shot matters anything other than how quickly you die.
I'm grabbing a stick and I'm jabbing it in eyes and
That's
nose.
not hand-to-hand
That's
combat.
Hey, the survey clearly said hand to hand.
Then there's no way you could win. there's no way. Now, other crazy statistics. 8% believe they could beat a gorilla. So there are more people
what?
that believe they could beat a gorilla than that believe that they could be a grizzly bear.
What? A gorilla?
A grizzly bear. All right, a gorilla is like the most terrifying thing I'd ever think I could see in the like the.
They got thumbs. Oh, they'll snap you.
They're so strong. What do you think? What's the percentage? Now that's ridiculous, but this one took me back a little bit. What's the percentage do you think of people who think they could take a rat?
One single rat?
Yeah,
Like 90%?
98%?
you would think that. 72% of people think they could beat a rat. You have feet. All right, all you have to do is step on it. All right,
Yeah, rat really is
8%. What do you think about a house cat?
To take on a house cat?
Yeah, they can beat a house cat in hand-to-hand combat.
I would say like 30%.
16.
64%. All right, I mean that's just
Wait, so they're just
How is house cat and rat like almost par for par?
Yeah, that's insane. A rat you step on. That's absurd. But no, 8% thinking gorilla. That was more dumbfounding than 6% saying
That might be worse than a grizzly bear. Would you rather go up against thumbs or claws?
I feel like the grizzly bear would be just so fast that you feel nothing, but like you're just getting ragdolled by a until they just like beat you senseless.
The gorilla would be like,
Yeah, seriously. Have you guys ever seen that video online of like there was like some National Geographic photographers or whatever documenting gorillas, and like this family of gorillas walks by, and like the male silverback just like as he's walking casually just grabs one of them by the ankle, like doesn't lose his stride, doesn't give any issue, anything, like just drags this dude like 15-20 feet without even a blink, like
it was toilet paper on his foot.
Yeah, exactly. And then just lets him go, just reminding him like, hey, I could fuck you up in a way that you can't even recognize, and I'm choosing not to. You're welcome.
I think we give Joey enough whiskey. I think he would get in the ring.
I think he would. I think if we feed him whiskey,
getting in the ring is very different than
that,
winning. Okay, yeah, just getting in there like, come on, bear.
What could go wrong? I love when things like that appear in pop culture.
That's right.
So we're landing planes, we're beating grizzly bears, maybe beating gorillas.
And landing a plane is
not.
definitely the most likely out of all of those things. But however, less people think they could kill a rat than land a plane.
Oh no!
This gonna just step on the rat. Okay, you have feet.
Yeah, and like you've got a long time to land that real good kick on the rat before it's really doing anything worth registering. Like it'll suck when it bites you, but like you're not losing.
Yeah, it's just
Like,
time.
oh no, that hurt. Like, oh, one more chance to kick this thing against a wall.
We had to bring it up. We had to see if anyone thought they might beat a grizzly bear.
If you think you could beat a grizzly right into the show, I want to hear your logic.
Guys, let's get into the Sports Docket show. We got Sports Docket, Squeeze of the Week, Moron Mountain, Claim to Shame, a big top stat of the day to wrap up for opening day. MLB boys, Final Four is set. Games will be played on Saturday. All number ones have made it. Congrats to Rhymes with Ike.
Very good.
Who was on the show.
Boring picks of all time, but you technically got it right.
You did. He did it. He was on the show a few weeks ago. Go check it out. Fun episode. But
He picked all four, and he said it was the first time it's going to happen since 2008. And
I mean,
yeah,
he did call it, and he actually did
did?
back it up by being like, no, I did not want to do that. It was genuinely, these are by far the four best teams in the country, and
It is
they
definitely
have
proven to
proved
be.
it pretty much outside of Florida.
That's true. Yeah. Guys, pick your champion. Is it Duke's to lose? Who do you take, a Duke or the field?
Oh, you can't do or the field. I mean,
I'll always take the field. You have to
Yeah.
know that by now.
If that kid Broom or whatever his last name for Auburn is healthy, watch out for Auburn. That kid is good. And that kid is real
Cooper
good. But he
Flag, though, is
got banged up. Yeah, Cooper Flag is really good, but I think the rest of the size and the talent and the teams. But I want to see Duke do it. I know it just seems kind of ridiculous to be cheering for a team like Duke to win.
I would say so.
But I want to see, I like seeing greatness, and I want to see, like, the last time we had this like superstar phenom freshman that just took over March Madness and won the national championship was Carmelo Anthony. And it's just like I would love to see that style again, where the entire team is based around this one massive talent we've been watching for a couple of years. I would just love to see him do it. Have him get in there, dominate these next two games, because he looked so good in that Elite Eight game, dude. That shot he made at the buzzer. I mean, he got 30 points. He looked so good. And so just if he can go out there and pull a Carmelo and drop 30 in both of these games and win a national championship, I think that it's good. It's good for history. It's good for legacy, especially when they're all number ones. You don't have an underdog right now. So I want to go for the best story, and I think that's Cooper Flag.
Ooh, and it looks like Duke is plus 105, fellas. Florida plus 300. Houston plus 400. Auburn plus 500.
Interesting.
That's surprising. I mean,
Yeah.
have the odds makers watched any of Florida's games? Like, they have had to dig themselves out of holes that they have created in every game except for the round of 64. Like, eventually your luck runs out, boys. I picked Florida to win, so
So did I.
Potatoes. But my God, they have been difficult to root for.
You can also vote or bet on the field minus 135, Duke plus 105. That's them respecting the field a little bit, I would say.
Yeah.
But Auburn, Joe, you just said has one of the best players, but they're the last.
They do, because he's hurt.
Last in there.
Or he got a little banged up. I think he came in and shot some free throws and tried to play it off. But once that game was out of hand, they benched him. But that kid is a walking double-double. And in college, that's a really big deal, especially in this game today when nobody really plays defense and no one really rebounds. And so you get a kid like that, that's going to be...
Not a lot of anything other than shooting threes.
That's it. Like, that's all there is.
threes and
I
post.
mean... It's so refreshing to actually watch basketball, though, and watching these games, and then you turn on the NBA and you're like, oh my God, what is this? All right, what is this? Chris, you had an interesting stat of the day today. What was that?
Congratulations to friend of the show, Bronny James, for eclipsing other friend of the show, Ben Simmons, in career three-pointers with 6.
With 6. So even Bronny James is out there hucking threes. I mean, this is ridiculous. What happened to the big man? What happened to, it's just like Jokic is dominating, and it's just teams do that. Do that, and you'll win. But they just they want to.
I also saw another stat. Embiid and Ben Simmons have both played within 2 games of each other the last 3 years, 62 games.
Yeah. Did you guys follow what the hell happened with Maryland's head coach? What was that?
Oh, I was texting you guys about this.
So this asshole just, he doesn't show up at their Sweet 16 team dinner the night before. And apparently he's already been recruiting and working with and game planning for Villanova. All right. So he was actively still the coach of Maryland. They were going to play in the Sweet 16 game, but he just said, nah, I'm good. And he left the team. And so the assistant coach didn't even tell anybody. The assistant coach had to address the team at dinner. And they're like, where's coach? I don't know. All right. Then they lost. And then guess what? He becomes the head coach of Villanova. I was just like, what a joke.
What are we doing?
After in the post game and in the day following, saying my mind's not made up. I have no idea what I'm doing. And then the following day, oh hey, welcome to Villanova, Coach Douchebag.
What's a joke?
It's just broken, guys. The whole thing.
Everything is broken. Everything.
Well, and the wild thing is, he's been Maryland's coach for a long time.
They just don't finish the season.
Shit. He hasn't accomplished anything but a single Sweet 16. Like,
and then he gives up.
And then he bolts. Like, you are in the most, I don't even know, stratified position that you've ever been in your coaching career. And instead of being like, if I go and win one more, my paycheck goes up that much more. If I go win two more, then now all of a sudden, like, I'm in a bidding war with some of the biggest teams on the planet. But instead, you just demonstrate they're like, oh, as long as somebody's willing to just throw enough money at me, I'll bail wherever the hell I'm at. I do.
And if you're Villanova, how do you feel good about?
No,
like, he's gonna bail on us. Yeah,
no way can you feel good as a Villanova.
This is a good character statement.
That's a big character moment there. Speaking of character, guys, Coach Prime is the 4th highest paid coach in the NCAA with a combined record of and a lot of losses.
What is he, like 18 and 17? I think, or something like that now.
Maybe
it's like right at 50-50, something like that.
4th highest. It's a PR move, obviously. I mean, they've brought more exposure to the school, I'm sure, than anyone else that's ever. Like, it's an influencer paycheck, really, right? No, like
that's fairly stated.
He's not a top 4 coach.
All right, so what should you? I mean, you get paid for. We say, why do, like, okay, just coming back to, the Angel Reese argument, saying that, like, WNBA players should be getting paid as much. You get paid by basically your worth.
Yeah.
Dion has made CU worth a lot. He has brought in a lot of money for that team. Every single kid I see in my school now is wearing Coach Prime CU stuff. I mean, 3 years ago, people were like, "There's a football team in Boulder." I mean, it's just like
even in the state, the state.
It's mind blowing. So you have that, while the football has been legitimately as mediocre can get.
Yes,
but he has increased every year. He is showing like some like promise. They went 1-11 to 4 wins to 9 last year. All right, and so that's good growth. You got to lock this dude down, and like for what he's done to your school and to that organization, I think of like I was surprised he wasn't the highest paid.
CU is just taking. I think it's kind of the approach that they have to. Like, you have to do whatever you have to do in order to keep Coach Prime happy, because as soon as he's gone, like, the regents aren't going to sign a fat check to go chase down another big hire, something else splashy. So you got to keep him there as long as you can just keep juicing this to death. And
he has all the leverage.
Prime, and for Coach Prime, like, you haven't done well enough in order for anyone at a higher echelon above CU to really be all that interested and to give you the level of control that you expect. Maybe somebody takes a poke on you next year in the NFL, kind of looking for the same thing of like, hey, we suck ass, but if you can get people talking positively about us whatsoever, like, that's good enough. Like, we'll let you just run the entire team.
That's a good point.
Yeah. Maybe, but like, he's kind of worked himself into like, this is kind of the right spot. CU recognizes this is their opportunity. Like, I think it's the right call, and I agree with what Joey said. Like, ultimately, your job is PR. Do you get butts in seats? Do you get people to pay attention? Yes and yes.
Do you get people just to come to your school? I mean, just student enrollment. That's a weird reason to enroll, but people are so into it that deserve it? Where are you going with that? No deserve?
I mean, nobody deserves any of this amount of money for coaching and playing a child's game. However, in like actually scope, and this does make sense. I don't think he's overpaid for what
he produces
is for what money is, right?
Keep both sides happy. Let's recognize that, like, we're both winning here in our own needed way. And that's fine.
Yeah. You know who's not? You know who's winning a lot right now? Look at this segue. The Yankees hitting a lot of dingers with these torpedo bats.
God.
Have you seen these torpedo bats?
9 ding-dongs in one game, 3 of them by Judge. Holy shit.
They've hit 15.
Judge isn't using the torpedo bat, though.
That's fine. He still hit 3.
Yeah,
He's hit
still
one game.
Yankees have hit 15 home runs in the first 14 innings.
Oh my God.
That's absurd.
Yeah, for those not or kind of following these torpedo bats, I guess it's legal. The Yankees have introduced a new bat designed by an MIT professor to bring more wood and mass up to the sweet spot of the bat.
Yes.
So it looks like a torpedo with more weight in that spot. And the ball can kind of, it's just almost like an aluminum bat in a way. Just more, I don't know the science. Don't ask me the science, but they're hitting a lot of home runs with these things, guys. And it's legal.
I think it's only legal because the Yankees are doing it. If the Colorado Rockies came out and had this with 15 home runs in the first series, people would be like, what the hell is that thing? It needs to be banned immediately.
You think?
All right. Oh, 100%. And of course the Yankees are the first team to let this happen. And this cannot be the first time that anyone's seen this. This is bizarre. Like they just weren't using these in spring training. And now they're just using them to start the season and hitting massive bombs. Like players didn't know these things even existed. Like Xander Bogaerts said he saw somebody warming up with him. He said thought they were joking. He says he thought he's like, well, I've never seen this. I've never heard of it. He's like, I thought they were like editing a picture, but it was in real life.
It does look like a bowling pin. That's right.
Now, yes, it's not against the rules because all it has to be is within a certain weight and then like the weight differential. So the weight is still in the barrel of the bat. Now, I think that for contact hitters, this is a bad idea. All right. The only reason you want this is to hit dingers.
Got to rack it up there.
And when you're in at Yankee Stadium, that is just the most dog shit stadium in baseball that you hit a pop fly and it's going to go out.
Gone.
Then they want that. But Ichiro and Tony Gwynn, they would have hated this freaking thing because they're not just trying to muscle it out. They're trying to place the ball. They're trying to hit it in specific spots. This is just another thing that's going to, if this catches on, we're going to see more. We're going to see even more of an increase, I think, in like this massive disparity of either you're hitting home runs or you're striking out. It's just like now when people are saying it's all in the barrel of the bat, they're just going to go harder, even though the MIT dude said this is supposed to reduce swing and missing. So it's just like, then how is it not cheating? It's just
That's
like,
true.
If it's supposed to reduce your ability to swing and miss and then have more mass on the sweet spot.
Yeah.
And only one team has this ability. It just doesn't seem fair. It's just, I guarantee if it was any other team besides the Yankees, they'd be like,
I think in the last day or so, other teams snuck the recipe, or I'm not sure if this MIT guy's about to get rich, by the way. MIT guy.
Joe, you remember like 2 years ago in F1 when Mercedes came up with that, like you could move the steering wheel back and forth and it would augment like the downforce applied by the wing, and everyone was up in arms. Then suddenly it was legal. Then suddenly everyone was cool with it and all had it at the same time. Like I think this is kind of I think this is kind of the baseball equivalent of this. Of like they waited until the season began to get a head start on the competition, knowing that either this is going to be ruled illegal and oops, our bad. But I imagine that they already worked with the MLB, double checked that this was okay, and because they just privately went and spoke with the MLB about it, got the thumbs up, like went ahead and rolled it out, knew that everybody else would get the opportunity to have this, but now all of a sudden we are, we've had this for 10 more games, 20 more games than anybody else. Like, how much of a head start did we just wind up giving our batters that nobody else gets? Like, we get this one flash in the pan opportunity to have an edge that the rest of our competition
for
doesn't.
A few weeks, maybe. Yeah, you get 2 weeks where the game's in,
and then all of a sudden they are everywhere, or at least like everyone has the opportunity to have one, if they want it. And now all of a sudden there's parity again, but it's because everybody's starting to catch up.
Or could you trademark that? Because it's an MIT professor who's also employed by the Yankees.
If the Yankees are the only team allowed to use it, then that's definitely cheating. So you can't trademark that. Yeah.
I wonder.
I think the dude could patent it, and then he could get a bunch of freaking money when they start buying them and making them like the. It just seems like all this shit happened, with like Tom Brady supposedly letting air out of a football. All right, this is like a completely different shaped.
It is
thing. Like this is a completely different tool you're using.
It's a mallet.
I mean,
it does look like a mallet.
It's bizarre. I mean, that would just be like. Thing. No, I mean that'd be like in hockey. Some people realizing, wait, we can curve the stick, but only the Bruins can curve their sticks. It's just like, but why can't everybody? Like, no, they have to let it be for everybody. And the fact that everybody doesn't have this technology, I think is bullshit. I don't think they should be able to use it unless it's like approved by the league, and of course Rob Manfred's like, the Yankees are doing it. Yankees,
we love it.
Dodgers, anything they want. Anything they want. Shohei didn't gamble. No, oh God, no, that never.
Isn't it funny how that story from last year really just? I mean, that was the biggest sports scandal in one of our lifetimes. I mean, top five, and it just kind of went away. That guy went to jail, and that's about it.
Yeah.
And they just proved that Ohtani had no proof after 15 minutes. Like, oh no, he had nothing to do with it. Really?
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
And then let's make our opening MLB weekend predictions. Do you take the Dodgers, Yankees, or the field, Chris?
Oh, give me the field every single time. Don't even ask. Just skip to Joey.
The billion-dollar spenders. No, I think the Mets are in there too, as far as the bajillion-dollar spenders.
Nope. You gave me the field, including the Mets, including
Yankees.
The Braves.
You said Yankees and Dodgers.
I did.
And, then the field. So
Chris,
all right, now,
field.
as much as I would hate to say it, I don't think it's going to be the Yankees or Dodgers. I hate it so much, but it's going to be that way. Now, I would like to see. Well, I don't know why. I like Bryce Harper. I'm a big Bryce Harper guy, and as much as I hate Philadelphia, I'd like to see the Phillies do it. I'd like to see Bryce Harper get one.
Oh, interesting.
The Mets, I hate teams who spend a lot, but they're not the Yankees. And any team is going to try to push away the limelight of the biggest sports media market in the world away from the Steinbrenner family and from the Bronx. I'll take the Mets, and I'm excited to see what they can do. The Padres, starting off hot. But who knows? They're starting off 4-0. I'd like to see what they can do. In the American League, it's really looking like it's. I mean, I hope Cleveland can do something. It'd be sweet to see Cleveland do something. I hope the Mariners can do something for Dell, but it's really looking like it's the Yankees and. Oh God, the Yankees. I don't know. Let's see the Royals. Hopefully, buddy, with this new young talent, but I just don't see it. So,
it the Rocks
I'd say, as much as I hate to say it, I would put money on Dodgers Yankees right now. But for what I would like to see, I would like to see Phillies Mariners. That's what I would like to see.
There you go. All right, boys, see you on the other side. Boys, we are so back. Episode 86. Not 85, not 84, episode 86. That's an even number for those of you guys keeping at home. Juice Junkies, we love you so much. Thanks for tuning in and sharing with friends, sharing with family, laughing with us, crying with us, yelling at us. We love it so much.
Cried? Yeah. Well, I mean, yes, we have cried.
After I close this laptop, sometimes I do cry. Anyway, Squeeze of the Week, Moron Mountain, our claim to shame, one of our funnest segments that we just keep adding potential items to the menu. We got a family show. We have a wife, we have a mother-in-law, and then Joey has another squeeze. We got a few things going on.
A shout out.
A shout out.
Yeah.
Chris, you want to start it off? Who's got the first? Who got the first?
Yeah. So this is a text I received a little too late into the recording last week to include it, but it's from the She Pulp, aka my wife. She says, "Oh, please tell Cody if teams need to stop celebrating making it to the Sweet 16 because it doesn't matter, then we need to stop celebrating AFC, NFC regional winners because it's the same stupid principle then. Just because it doesn't have to do with your precious NFL teams, he automatically thinks it's stupid. Some of us actually enjoy sports that aren't NFL and like to see good competition play out. And with how many colleges and conferences there are in the country, it makes sense to have more teams get the opportunity to compete if there is a standout team in a lower, less respected conference." Spice.
I can't argue with that.
She was all over the place on that.
What are you talking about? She's saying you have to acknowledge the greatness of making it to a Sweet 16.
Yeah, but no one in the NFL celebrates anything but a Super Bowl.
Yes, they do. They put up banners for the division championship.
I don't think they should. I don't think they should.
The division? That's a huge accomplishment.
I don't think you should for the NFL. If you don't win a Super Bowl, you can win. We won the division and then Super Bowls. That's it. We made it to the AFC Championship. No. Why would you celebrate that? You didn't win the Super Bowl
because you won your conference.
So who gives a shit?
The Carolina Panthers do. That's their only 2 banners they have, dude. All right. So
coming from a Patriot fan, do you give a shit? Bill Belichick hands the trophy off of the AFC Championship.
But when you have 6 Super Bowls like the Patriots do, it's like you look at those other ones. It's just like poo-poo.
That's what I'm saying. You didn't win the Super Bowl, so who cares?
However, if you are, I can say the Atlanta Falcons, but I don't think they want to look at that one. I don't think they want to look at that NFC champion banner. So
I think she's trying to pile me into an argument about the NFL, but it's the same thing. I don't give 2 shits. If you don't win a ring,
I'll
it's
give
useless.
you credit where credit's due for being consistent, and that consistency is being the person who hates sports the most and hosts a sports podcast.
Yeah.
She said the
singular point of consistency.
We love competition. There's nothing wrong with the second half of our argument. She was just saying
you're not allowed
competition.
to celebrate that. You're not allowed to celebrate accomplishment within that competition unless you just win the tippity top greatest.
Yes.
That's the only time you get to stop and be like, I did pretty good.
Yeah, congrats. You lost in the Sweet 16. Let's celebrate you. That is not how it works.
You're telling me that when Georgia, one of the largest schools in the entire country, an SEC powerhouse, has never made a Sweet 16. That St. Peter's making it 2 years ago, or Florida Gulf Coast making it, they should not be freaking the fuck out. And just
you can be like, I'm proud of us, but celebrating? Like, come on.
Dude, if CSU didn't get screwed on that travel, they should put up a Sweet 16 banner in Moby.
My gosh.
We've never made one. That's a huge deal. There's hundreds of schools eligible for this tournament, and you're making it the final 16. That's remarkable.
Congrats! You are the 16th best.
Dude,
name a team.
Nebraska's never even won a March Madness game. When they make it out of the round of 64, I will be the most obnoxious version of me you've ever witnessed.
They've never won a game in the tournament.
You know what, Chris? You can celebrate that.
I'll lose my shit. I will be so
give it to you
for the entire next year.
I can't believe they never won a tournament game.
Never. Only Power 5 team.
Never. They've never done it.
Not once.
That feels like they're really trying to at this point.
That's really bad.
Oh, man. Yeah. It's embarrassing.
Thanks for that, Sheeple, but you're still wrong. The competition could be good, but just win a game. Keep winning.
They did.
What does TCU get their ass kicked in the CFP? And it's like, let's celebrate our fucking ass kicking.
Yes.
No, you got your ass kicked.
We have no business being here, and we made it past the first round.
Have some standards.
Holy shit.
Have some standards.
What are we even doing here?
Dude, UCF celebrates a national championship that they were never given. All right, so it's just like, come on.
That's Thanks, Sheeple, for sending that in. But you're wrong. You're wrong. All right, guys, we're keeping it in the family. Mama Sheeple, or mother-in-law Pulp, or our mother-in-law?
Do something better than that. Okay.
Yeah. Our mother-in-law.
That's
Close?
what she is.
Yes.
Mama Juice.
She is all 3 of our mother-in-law. Yes.
Squeeze-in-law? Juice-in-law?
Just
this is getting worse.
Okay.
More swings we take.
Mama Beats. Mama Beats.
Yeah. She had a passionate take from a few weeks ago. We did a potato where we talked about biggest or best sports cameos, athlete cameos in movies. What else? I can't remember what else we had. But Airplane, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, other movies, shows, things like that. She was very offended. She sent us, to say to you Juice Boys, you missed the mark on sports figure cameos. Can't believe you didn't have Clay Matthews and his O-line in, wait for it, Pitch Perfect 2.
Can't believe that one's
Come on, man. Do better. She was at my house. She was offended. She was not happy with that miss.
How much Boda Box had she had?
Have Have either of you seen Pitch Perfect 2?
No,
It's been. I've seen Pitch Perfect once.
Anything.
I've seen the first one.
I understand the
That-
concept.
I've seen that scene.
It's a
but
good scene.
I haven't seen the whole movie, so it is
Yeah.
funny. It is funny, and I should have thought of it, but I just the musicals and the Cups song aren't the first thing that pop into my head about when I talk about cameos.
But to die on that hill, to come at us hot like
Come
that.
at us. No, actually, I
guns
got
hot.
that.
Coming
I
at
got
guns
that
hot like
from-
that?
I got that from a lot. Apparently, that's a very liked movie among the females. All right, who knew? Who knew? They made three. They made three of them.
None of us are,
All
to
right.
my knowledge.
There might be four. I have no idea. But yeah, a lot of people came to me and said you left Pitch Perfect out, and I was like, oh.
A lot. What? How many is a lot of people?
Well, considering we are the 127th.
Oh, a lot of
most
Ghanaians
listened
were
to
writing in. My
Ghana.
bad.
All
My
right.
bad.
A lot of people was like 5. So yeah,
The
but it was
Ghanaians are really into Pitch Perfect, is what we've learned.
Yeah.
If you heard,
And the
think of
Juice
one-
Boys.
If you, thanks,
Really a
Mama
1-2
Beats, for
punch
that. But I mean, it's a cameo. It's not the cameo. And the fact there's this
It was
the
a good one,
sequel. It was a good one. Good for Clay Matthews and the O-line for stepping in. That's the first mother-in-law squeeze. She gives us her thoughts, but never written it in.
All it took was for us to ignore a musical, and then she gets all.
And she's all in it, baby.
Yeah.
That's
Joey, you got
sense.
another one, huh?
Yeah. So
got?
last week I blew the conch and I called out the Jets fans. I just called out all of them. This is basically just
Sure did.
New York football fans. All right. And I specifically called out Cashman and Owen. And I want to say to you guys, Owen, my dude, is blessed with better judgment, and he is not a Jets fan like his dad. So, Owen, thank you. Thank you for that. Now,
Okay.
the squeeze here or the take, Cashman owned it. A person could make the case the Jets are currently the worst franchise in all of U.S. sports.
ugh.
All right. They currently have, which I did not know, the longest
A's still
playoff
exist.
drought. They have the longest playoff drought of any team in like the 4 main American sports.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
I'm with
And
you.
he says if they were an F1 team, they would be Kick Sauber. They even share the same green color scheme. All right, they are just they're
McCoy doesn't
horrible.
get that, but it's a burn.
No, that's
Is
a
it?
burn.
Okay.
That's a bad. Kick Sauber is horrible. They're going to be replaced by Audi, thank God. And then Cadillac is joining F1 next
Yeah.
year. They
Oh,
just
that sounds
announced that.
badass. That sounds
Cadillac
funny.
is joining. Yeah. So thank you, Cashman, for acknowledging yes. And I could not agree with you more. I think yes, the Jets are. I think the Cleveland Browns are close. Are close. All right. This crap that they just like. The crap they pulled with Deshaun Watson was just, I don't know if any franchise of any sport in the world can come back from that.
And then Myles Garrett, which is on top of that.
Especially when Jimmy Haslam just came
doubling
out
down.
and acknowledged it, that they took a swing and they had a big miss. And Deshaun Watson is still on their roster. He's talking trash about this dude, and he's still on the roster.
Still
he's
getting paid.
technically
The bad luck.
He's still technically their
The
quarterback.
vibes are terrible.
Just, yeah.
It's not good.
So
Stefanski's got no chance as a head coach.
The
though.
A's are another one. The A's are horrible. Just an absolute dumpster fire of a
Just so
franchise.
bad.
The Sacramento Kings for a long time in the NBA.
Yeah, but at least their ownership is
They
trying.
had that one
They're
like
doing- yeah.
flash in the pan. What was that? Like last year.
That
Where they
and in
were
like
suddenly
2002.
Like, oh hey, they. Oh no, never mind.
Yeah, I mean, let's they got to try to build a culture there with the light, the beam, and stuff like that. So they're trying. I mean, the Jets they have the worst stadium in football. I mean, they have loyal fans. I'll give them that for a team that has their best highlight ever was Joe Namath waving the finger in 1969. That was it. That was the highlight of their entire franchise. So I mean, it's just they might.
And he
be-
wasn't even that great of a quarterback. He just had one moment of.
I mean, at least the A's have Super Bowls. Yeah, I mean, no, sorry, the A's have World Series.
Congrats on the Super Bowls, A's.
Yeah, good job, A's. But I mean, at least the A's have World Series. You know,
The
at
only
least,
other
you know,
thing,
but-
the only other team that I would point to, and they no longer exist, is the Arizona Coyotes.
yeah, they're pretty
Until
bad.
they went and became the Utah, whoever they wind up being. But like they were playing out of like a literal like back alley dumpster.
Community
it was
college,
the-
right, or something.
Arizona State, Mullet Arena.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
I don't know if we can. I mean, I think we're trying to disagree, but I love at least the same breath. They are.
They're really bad.
They're not good. Thanks, Cashman, for that. That's
I'm with you.
I got nothing. They're
I
terrible.
can't disagree. There are other things that I can like. It depends on like your definition of like the worst, but like you certainly made a case. You backed it up. I can't disagree whatsoever. And also like the Jets have just been bottom of the barrel, but still somehow feeding themselves Kool-Aid year in and year out for decades. Meanwhile, like the Cleveland Browns are actively like going fan to fan, punching them in the nuts and being like, "You're still willing to be a fan, though, right?"
It's more of an active approach with their fans.
Yeah, like I don't know which is worse. They're both so bad.
Jeez, guys. Joey, and then Chris. Chris has got a check mark.
Oh, yes.
Chris has got some thoughts, boy.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that I was the only one watching golf on Sunday.
No, I was actually watching it.
You were watching?
Yeah.
You were watching golf. Okay. What was it? The Houston, Tennessee game was such a blowout. I was like, all right, this isn't even like I left that up on the TV, but then threw on my iPad with my headphones and listened to golf because Minwoo Lee, who is the man, by the way, was closing out his first win on the PGA Tour and was trying to stave off Scotty Scheffler nipping at his heels.
Who had a day.
Who had himself a freaking day. Had himself a tournament. He had 2 spectacular rounds. He posted 2 62s. Incredible. I digress. Let's talk about our newest addition to Moron Mountains. Have you ever heard of Alejandro Tosti?
I love that name.
Not until this weekend.
Yeah, I love that
Okay,
name.
so McCoy knows about this. Joey, do you know anything about what this dipshit did?
I've never even heard of him, but that was
Okay, so
Alejandro
this is an
Tosti.
Argentine golfer who's really his only claim to shame was in this same tournament last year. He also did pretty well, and outside of that, he's irrelevant. So this year he gets himself into the final pairing. It was a pairing of 3 because things were wonky scheduling wise. Tosti, this guy, last name Fox, and Minwoo Lee are all playing together, and this dude Tosti, on like the very first hole, has to take a drop, and like it's chirpy with Fox about like how long he's taking in order to take his drop. And then later on, Minwoo Lee has to decide whether or not he's going to take a drop or an unplayable, or whether he's going to play a ball or mark it unplayable and take a drop due to a just atrocious lie. And he winds up calling over a PGA Tour official to basically complain that, like, hey, he's taking too long. This hole is taking too long, even though they were still keeping up with the group in front of them. Like, they are playing at the pace that they would have, regardless of what Minwoo Lee was going to do. And so it's basically told exactly that. And he's all heated and pissed off, thinks that they're wasting his time, thinks that they're not applying the rules. And meanwhile, this dude is like chasing down his first PGA Tour win of all time, like millions of dollars on the line. And he's like, would you hurry it the fuck up? Like, no class whatsoever.
Mad Russian.
And then doubles down on this by starting to just walk at a snail's pace, is walking like hundreds of yards behind his playing partners to just slow them down, to just force them to wait on him, getting to his shots whenever he damn well pleases. Yeah, there was a shot where like Minwoo Lee and Fox are at least 150 yards out in front of him on the fairway, and he's walking like he is just learning how to walk. Like, he's looking at his feet, he is just dragging, doing nothing to try and play with any sort of pep in his step, any sort of
what an asshole
hustle whatsoever. And so, like, the announcers call this out. They're like, they use the term a glacial pace that he's moving at. And they're like, there's nothing to be accomplished here. I don't get why he's doing this other than, like, he's clearly here to he's trying to screw with Minwoo Lee and potentially disrupting his first ever win. Like, that's really classless. And when, very thick-skinned Alejandro Tosti hears about this, he hops onto Twitter and makes a very, very reasonable post.
Oh, saying, he doubled down? He's doubling down.
Playing at my own pace, OMG, because I took a piss on the restroom and prepared myself a drink. I am, quote-unquote, slow playing and trying to throw off my playing partners. Go fuck yourself, failures.
What?
W, stop the fake news, idiots. There was no confrontation with Fox on the first hole. And it's like, there was the guy on the course reported like, yeah, he was getting chippy and mouthy with him. Like,
those cameras are a doozy, you know?
Like, yeah, there was a dude standing next to you who heard it. Like, and then my favorite thing is I saw on Reddit this morning, he like made that post. Someone on Reddit just put a clown emoji as a comment to it. And he gets a DM immediately back from Alejandro Tosti. A clown with 3 followers. Failure. Get a life. Alejandro Tosti, you are the thinnest skinned man. You are the Dan Hurley of golf. Welcome to Moron Mountain.
Toasty.
I don't understand why he's saying it was just okay. I took a piss on the restroom and prepared myself a drink. Is that a normal thing? Do dudes just like, I'll be back. I'm just going to have a sandwich, and then we'll finish later. It's just like,
Gotta go fix me a mixie.
I've never heard that before in my life.
I got nothing to dispute on that. I mean, he had multiple chances to.
Oh my God. Yeah,
he kept doubling down.
All you had to do is just shut the hell up. Just shut the hell up.
He just kept doubling down.
Like, oh, yep, my bad. You know, I wasn't trying to walk slow or anything like that. Like I was having a conversation with my caddy. My bad. Or don't even acknowledge it. Don't say anything.
Just eat it.
Let it just go away.
Joey, if people like Chris, Cashman, Sheeple, Mama Beats, if they want to contribute, how do they do so? More on Mountain Squeeze of the Week kind of shit.
Friends, listeners, Juice Junkies, great participation this week. Keep it coming. You could submit your most outlandish sports take or Moron Mountain nominee, claim to shame, or overall bitch session by emailing us at juiceboyshow@gmail.com or send us a DM on Instagram at juiceboyshow, and if it has the pulp, we'll read it on the show. Carissa! Who's sponsoring today's show?
Today's episode of the Juice Boys Show is brought to you by the Juice Boys Fund to purchase the homeless A's.
Yes.
Again, thank you.
Fellas,
It's back.
It's with a heavy heart that we again discuss the nearest, the dearest charitable effort we've ever done. The Juice Boys Fund to purchase the homeless A's. Once again, the Athletics find themselves in professional sports limbo. A team without a home, without an identity, and without an owner who gives a single fuck.
No.
Not one.
No.
And that's where you come in, dear Juice Junkie. In today's modern sports era, team buyer groups are becoming the norm, and we here at the Juice Boys Show will launch the first ever crowd-funded team purchase in major sporting history. And under the leaderships of your 3 favorite morons, we promise to deliver on the dreams of A's fans everywhere. First, we're moving the team to Alaska, where they'll get to play under the midnight sun all summer long.
Yes.
Second, we promise to bring back the greatest promo of all time by making 10-cent beer night a
Yes.
yearly occurrence, regardless of the amount of felonies committed. And third, we promise to allow anyone who contributes more than $100 million the opportunity to either call in the pitches for 1 at-bat per game or designate themselves as DH for 1 game per year.
It's a good deal.
And those are Juice Boy guarantees, boys.
Lay down a
Reach
bunt.
deep,
Bunt!
Juice Junkies, and help this once proud ball club return to relevance for the first time since Brad Pitt dazzled us all in Moneyball. The Juice Boys Fund to purchase the homeless A's, because literally nothing we could ever do could be worse than the ownership tenure of John Fisher.
Very true.
I
Very
agree.
true.
It'll happen.
Very
Give it
Let's
time.
do it, boys.
Give it
There's
time.
Unfortunately, there are 2 homeless teams right now. The poor Tampa Bay Rays got their stadium destroyed by a hurricane, so they're playing at George Steinbrenner Park. They have their own baseball field for 20 games a year in spring training.
Yep.
It's,
Yes,
it's really nice. Now, it holds 15,000 people, and we've seen Rays attendance. That might be good enough.
Thank you for that, Chris. We love it. Guys, our big potato, our big topic of the day. You're going to transform into a fly.
Okay.
You're going to be a fly on the wall in sports history at a behind-the-scene closed door conversation, situation, a meeting, before a game, after game, reflection? What is something in history you want to see how it went down? Not the game itself, but what do you want to see? What do you want to be a part of? What do you want to see how it actually went down in sports history? Maybe a conspiracy, maybe not. You want to see what actually happened.
Okay.
Or just, it was so fucking crazy, you just have to see it, how it went down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Joey, start us off, friend.
So, I mean, I was initially, I just wanted to go back and just be a fly of old timey baseball and just see what an old dugout was like. But I think that's just too broad. I don't want to see dudes in there just ripping beers and smoking cigarettes and supposed to be like premier athletes. I just want to just come in there and it's just
prescribed cigarettes
and glizzies in between innings.
Yeah, like John Kruk coming in and be like, back in our day, this is where I used to sit and drink beer. That's where I used to play cards and drink beer and smoke cigarettes. And it's just like, no, that doesn't happen anymore. So looking at it like an actual thing, I don't know the life expectancy of flies. I said, but
okay.
I just want to be a fly and just sit in the Cleveland Brown draft room from 2000 until now. Just to see. Okay. Just to
that
see
seems far longer than the life expectancy of a fly, but we'll give it to you. I think so.
Yeah. Just to see what is going
generational fly.
What is going through their minds when they see Tim Couch. He was our future. Brady Quinn. Yeah. He's our future. No, Colt McCoy. He's our future. No, Brandon Whedon. He's our future. No. Johnny Manziel, he's definitely our future.
He's got to be our future.
Is the boy.
No. All right. Cody Kessler, you got to be future. No. All right. Deshaun Kaiser. Yeah, it's got to be Notre Dame. No. All right. Baker Mayfield. Yeah, you should have been. No, we're going to trade you for Deshaun Watson.
He actually was. We're going to go chase your ass out of the city.
So do we have Deshaun Watson and nobody else? Dorian Thompson-Robinson. No. All right. So how can they go this bad this many times? I just have to be in this room and just see the decisions. I want to be in there even when they say, I want the dude who has 70 sexual misconduct allegations against him. How can we get him? It's going to need 3 first-round draft picks. Let's do it.
And a blank check.
$275 million guaranteed. Let's do it.
Beautiful.
All right. I mean, oh my gosh. I just have to. We're talking about the Browns as just being that bad. I think they are worse than the Jets. And I just want to witness the stupidity that has been a quarter of a century of just not getting anything right. I guess they got Myles Garrett right,
but he was so good. That's what I was gonna say. You have to be so inept to not make that work.
Yeah, they had Myles Garrett and Joe Thomas, and that's it for 25 years.
Nick Chubb, I'll give you Nick Chubb.
Yeah, we'll see.
Wow. Update: flies last 15 to 30 days.
Okay.
What'd you say? 20 years.
25 years. Yeah.
So you want 1,000 generations of flies to track the progress or demise of
an entire dynasty of flies living and dying.
Chris, can you beat 20 years of bad drafting?
Fellas, the first thing that came to mind for me is a couple of years ago, the schism between PGA and LIV taking place.
Oh, I thought about this.
Out of nowhere, Rory and the GOAT himself, Tiger Woods, call an all players only meeting. Just sit down all of the PGA Tour players at the same time and basically just tear everyone apart, being like, are we about to let this sport that we all love just get bought out by Saudi blood money? If you all are in, be in. If you all are out, get the fuck out. Like, I want to see, what does it look like? Because they specifically were like, no, players only, no media, no one talks about what happens behind these doors. And I want to see, what is it like when Rory McIlroy and Tiger Woods have their come to Jesus moment with an entire room full of professional athletes all at once.
So was anything leaked about what they said in there? Did anybody say anything?
I think that everybody kind of, oh yeah, we're talking about direction of the game and what can we do to help influence.
I think Tiger did most of the talking, is what
I could imagine Tiger just staring him down like Netanyahu to the UN. Just you did nothing, and it's just that death stare and silence for 3 minutes. It's just my god.
Because this was before Chris they broke up, right? So all the big names were in the room still, or is this as people
this was like once that schism was legit. Once it actually had some legs and there were some big names. I think this was like post. I think this was like right after Dustin Johnson made the jump, and that was like holy shit. These
because he was number.
Like,
he was balling
was like top
point.
5, and he was fresh off of his Masters win and all of that, and like was tippity top of the world of golf. And it was that was the first shocker of like
Brooks.
Okay, these aren't just dudes trying to chase one last paycheck who are on their way out but have big name recognition. Like these are present top tier players that are getting poached away now. Like
that would be a fly.
We've got to circle the wagons.
Oh, guys, you guys got a hot start here. I'm gonna take us back to 1976. I would love to be a fly on the wall during the ABA NBA merger talks.
Nice.
For those who want to go to a business meeting.
Damn it, you're right. That is a business.
Let's talk viewership.
Yeah. I didn't connect those dots. For those youngsters, there used to be a rival NBA league because the NBA was known for not being that fun. There wasn't really a shot clock yet, no 3-point line. So this new startup league called the ABA starts, and they pull some big names like Julius Erving, Connie Hawkins, McGinnis, I think. Who else? Spencer Haywood,
Skywalker.
Yeah. They just. Yeah. The Denver Nuggets came from the ABA. They started picking up some steam. Then they started losing some steam. But in the mid 70s, there was a big merger. That's where the Nuggets, the Spurs, who else came from there? The Pacers,
the Tropics,
and the Nets.
The Nets, yeah.
So I want to know if it was like the Tropics situation. And pretty much Julius Erving was floating this league. He had the big afro, the big chops. They had the red, white, and blue ball. It was the more fun league, more high-flying, the sexier league. NBA was a little more boring, like slow pace, not as entertaining. So NBA had some of
trying
that.
to still be the gentleman's game.
Trying to still be the gentleman's game. Or a lot of cocaine in the 70s. Who knows? Maybe
Also
they were.
that.
Yeah, you never know.
It was when you weren't playing the gentleman's game.
Yeah, so I would love to be in those negotiations, those talks. 2 teams didn't make it. Anyone want to guess of the ABA?
The Flint Tropics.
Yeah, not the Tropics.
The
Joey will
San
know this, I have
Diego
no idea.
Conquistadors.
No, the Kentucky
they were a
Colonials and the Spirits of St. Louis. They folded up.
That is a
we talked
name,
about the Spirits of St. Louis before.
Yes.
That
So
is
I'd love to be in that
sweet
room
name.
because also it was kind of like the it was similar to semi-pro in that if you were an owner of a team, you were trying to get your team into the NBA. You were begging them to get them
that was
in.
the whole shtick, right?
That was the whole thing. So if you didn't have Julius Erving, one of the other studs, Connie Hawkins, you probably weren't making it. Billy Cunningham, Artis Gilmore, who else? George McGinnis, and Connie the Hawk. Oh, Moses Malone was also in that. So if you had a player, you were going to be okay. If you didn't, you were out of there. So to be in that room, the business meeting, I guess I would have loved that.
The Spirits of St. Louis might be the coolest team name I've ever heard. That needs to come back. That would be awesome.
I like that.
I think this was one of those moments that all baseball fans forever will remember because it was the biggest choke job from an umpire I have ever seen and the most heart-wrenching moment for a player ever. And I'm talking about Jim Joyce ruining the perfect game for Armando Galarraga. All right. Now, I want to be a fly in the wall on 2 different rooms. First, be in the locker room when Armando Galarraga comes in. What the hell do you say to that dude at that moment? Like, what do you say to him? Then the other one, I want to be in the umpire room. All right. I want to. What do the other guys say to this guy? Like, what do you say at that moment? So I want to play you guys the clip here. Just listen to what they had to walk. The umpires. There's 2 outs, right? This would have been the end of the game for a perfect game. And they have to leave the field with this in the background.
Ground ball, right side. Cabrera will cut it off. Galarraga covers. He's out. No, he's safe. He is safe.
Oh my God.
He is safe. first base. And here comes Jim Leyland. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, and it didn't stop. Like, that booing continued, and they had to like go on the loudspeakers for people to leave and everything. I mean, and so then to walk off the field, and Jim Joyce was the crew manager. He was the crew chief. So the guys are what are they gonna say? Their boss after just blowing a dude's perfect game on an easy call. And so just
do you back him up in the umpire room? Do you?
What do you say? Well, like we'll help you. No, you can't make that call at that moment. I mean, it's just like, oh, and then what was the Tigers locker room like? I mean, it's just, it had to just been complete silence and just.
You're all just sitting there listening to Enya.
You could. Chris for number 2.
Fellas, so for this one, I'm definitely not transforming into a fly.
Oh.
I'm going to go ahead and transform into a mid-'80s Nat Geo documentarian. I'm going all khaki from head to toe. And I'm sitting in the corner of the room in a very badly camouflaged tent. I'm documenting the celebration after the winning of the World Series in 1986 by the Booga Sugar Mets. I want to be at that party, just third-party perspective. I'm not
thought about it.
I'm just on the outside looking in, just watching the most cocaine per capita on the planet being consumed for like the next 4 straight days. No one's sleeping. The only thing that people are consuming is cocaine and champagne and just going
Cocaine
apeshit wild.
That'd be a good song name. Cocaine and champagne.
Well, it's doses and mimosas, champagne and cocaine.
It is a song.
So, yeah.
Oh, well, sorry. I didn't know. Damn it.
Oh, I thought you were making a joke.
No, I thought I was an artistic genius by coming up with
Somebody was. Yeah.
Somebody
was.
Anyway, I'm sitting in my poorly disguised tent as they clearly get more and more paranoid by why the fuck does this guy think that this tent is disguised? But there's enough cocaine and champagne for them to not care. And I just want to see, like, what was that room like? What was that party like?
Musty.
I mean, dangerous enough to where they didn't know where Dwight Gooden was for days. You know, so he missed the parade, he missed everything because he just partied so hard. So, I mean, it was just like potentially like life-altering party. Yeah.
I bet Lawrence Taylor was there. He probably bought his own bag.
Oh, Lawrence Taylor was on supplying. He's just got to call up my buddy Pablo real quick.
My gosh. I thought about it, Chris. I'm glad you took it. I'm glad you took it.
I thought that you would. I was like, I don't have another one.
Get ahead of that one.
Fingers crossed.
Guys, I'm going to go with something like Joe. I want to be in the reffing room when Tim Donaghy was passing tips to bookies, changing lines, and maybe making favorable calls in the NBA. So if anyone remembers, yes, he went to jail for about a decade for throwing games as a referee in the NBA.
I will never...
Kind of like Jim Joyce, but I would love to see those conversations. I guess he had code words for passing informations to bookies about players and referee relations. $30,000 he got paid for this, which doesn't seem like
That's
a lot.
it? Ugh.
There's 40 games that he officiated.
It was $30,000 he got paid, and then 2 legs he got to save. All right, and so it was like,
that's true.
That's where. So it was.
Yeah, there was only, I guess, proof of 2 games, but after an investigation, he had 40 games, 23 of the 30 were competitive, and his calls favored the team that his partners wagered on. So they connected a lot of dots. I would love to see those conversations, investigations, just to be another ref thinking like, is this fucking guy? Why is he making
at this?
Yeah.
I'll never forget that game 6 of the 01-02 Western Conference Finals. Like, I was... what would I have been 14 years old watching with my grandfather and just watching like, this is rigged. I know this is rigged. And poor Sacramento got screwed. That team was stacked and they were playing their asses off. And watching that game and all the calls that went for the Lakers, and then it gave them like several opportunities at the end of the game to win. Then Robert Horry finally made that winning shot. I knew it. And then it turned out it was so blatantly obvious that that happened in 2002 and he was in jail by 2008. I mean, it was just like, it did not take long for all of this to become unearthed. And the biggest blatant cheating I've ever seen. You got to go back and watch that game.
To fly on the wall, to be like the other reffing crew, just thinking, is this guy legit?
Like,
Is he, what's going on here?
Yeah, he keeps talking real weird on the phone.
Yeah.
Before the game.
A lot about overs and unders.
I'm not sure what that means, but
yeah. Remember, Juice Junkies, you can listen to the show on all major podcast networks and YouTube. Please follow and rate the show and leave us a review through Apple. We encourage you to follow the YouTube and Spotify channels. Be a friend. Tell a friend about the podcast. Join our Juice Junkie community. We'd love to have you. Cody, back to you.
yes, sir. That just about does it for us in our Final Four wrap up, guys. Opening day, like we talked about. Quick stat of the day. How many beers are consumed league-wide on opening day?
Ooh, oh my God. Okay. So I saw that surprisingly, the Rockies were barely top 10 by most beers drank per game by fans.
Oh.
I was just kind of shocked about that.
Disappointed.
Yeah. And it was at like 2.4. So, I mean, that's still pretty good. So let's say that MLB average 2.
For just opening day. What math could he
I'm going
possibly
about
be doing?
1.6 million beers.
Should I just go Price is Right rules and go 1.6 million and one?
Or do we go both?
I want to take the over. Let's go 2 mil.
300,000, guys. Damn. Have a little faith in.
I think
these people.
I did something wrong.
It was between 250,000 and 350. I kind of went for the 3. You guys were close.
You know, yeah, because I took up 40,000 average seating capacity, but you know, we got 2 parks at 15,000, so that could do it. And I'm not a mathematician.
Okay, but if you were right, you would have been
counting all the beers Joey sneaks in.
Yeah.
Yes.
That makes up for the other 1.3 million.
Yeah.
See, now I think that's got to be low because that's only 18,750 beers per stadium. I don't.
So you're disagreeing?
There's no way.
There's no actual stats. I had to use AI in the whole thing.
It has to be way more than 300,000 beers. Way more.
Oh, this isn't an actual stat. You're also just like making shit up.
I asked a very direct question to AI, and they broke down the averages and how many people were probably drinking beers in a stadium.
I think my number is right.
Yeah.
Based on what?
I'm going
based
with AI
on-
is wrong, Joey.
There's only
and I are
15 games going.
2.5 beers per person.
Every single person. That's not true, though.
That's what they were saying, though. That's the averages that I saw about the average per person drinks at a game.
Yeah, but
so, I mean,
studies
I'm
were-
going to have
any old
7.
game.
I'm going to have
Nobody's
7,
about
and
the
the
beer.
children will have 0. You know, so that's 2.5.
Probably.
You know, that's 2.
This says 40% of opening day attendees buy at least one beer.
Okay, then how many buy 7?
However, many fans who drink likely have more than 1, 2, or 3 beers per drinking a fan. Isn't uncommon over a 2.5 to 3 hour game. So if we assume an average of 1.5 beers per drinking fan, that's 180,000 times 1.5, 270,000 beers. Studies show 40 to 50% of MLB attendees might purchase alcohol. You lose.
AI is so wrong.
It's wrong.
Your
What do you mean it's wrong? We're just
plagiarism
disagreeing?
Your plagiarism machine got it wrong.
We're
Deal
just
with it, McCoy.
disagreeing with a stat of the day. Can you do
Let's say
that?
there was probably 300,000 just at Coors. So yeah.
That makes 0 sense.
no
That's
way.
just
No
It
way.
does.
There's 50,000 people in there.
50% are drinking one. Wait, what? You're saying 300,000 beers in one day in a single stadium? Oh my god! In the show,
I love it.
Oh my! That's what you're gonna say?
Yeah, dude.
Cue the music.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Well, on what lodge? On what planet? Now you're just doubling down because you
gotta go
know
to the
how
roof-
bad it is.
You go up to the rooftop, baby. I mean, people weren't having one beer. They're having-
Especially, I mean, on
my
opening
gosh.
day, like how early do they open and start selling beers? Like that's hours in advance. You can
Easily.
tailgate in the stadium at Coors Field.
easily 300,000.
Eat.
You might have 300,000 done before they throw the first.
You're
pitch.
doubling down with easily 300,000 in one stadium in one day.
Oh yeah,
So much
especially
beer.
NFL. Especially NFL.
We're not talking NFL. I'm talking opening day baseball. You can't move your argument now just because you got
Opening
caught.
day baseball? Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
All he's saying is, oh, yeah, Chris. All he's saying is.
And Cinderella burned alive. The end.
In real life.
In real life.
That'll do it for the usual show.
Later, losers.
Stay loose, stay juicy. We'll see you in the stands, episode 86. We love everyone. Please tell a friend. We love doing this every week, but
We do.
we want you to
Tell
tell
all the Ghanaians in your life.
Please.
Please.
Please. All right, guys. We'll see you next week. Final four. Wrap it up.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Mwah.
Love, love, love. Bye.